I hope you are well today. Please share this video and let's talk about anticipatory grief when dealing with a loved one who has dementia. One of the things that I have heard people say, families say in the past, is when your loved one has dementia, basically the more it progresses, it's like you lost the person who really was, and now you are dealing with a new person. Because dementia causes mental decline, it causes um, cognitive decline, where it changes a person completely. And so you're basically um, it's like you're getting to know a new person. So I personally am currently caring for my father, and it's shocking to see the difference. This is my father who was an accountant, a very hard worker, business, farming. He did it all. And now to see the difference that I see when the strongest person, the person you knew to be so strong, to defend you, to protect you, to provide for you, turn to look up to you like a child. Complete dependence. It comes with extreme grief. And anticipatory grief is also the realization that a bigger loss is coming, where something like death is a very big loss. Basically, when you lose a loved one, you're not gonna see them again on this earth. So it's a very big loss that you are dealing with. When someone is diagnosed with a terminal illness, it's like that grief starts instantly because you realize that your loved one is going to die. Now, while we all know that one day death is coming for each one of us, it becomes more real when someone is diagnosed with a terminal disease. Then you know death is in the near future, it's in the foreseeable future, it's coming, and grief starts. So, when you are dealing with anticipatory grief, it's important to be aware that even though the person is alive, number one, when you are taking care of a loved one who has dementia, it's almost like a new person, even though it's the same person, and you know that it's like a new person because you're getting to know this person almost like a new person. And so, but then you still have, you look back and you know what your loved one was capable of. They could do this, they could do that, and you know that part of them. But now they can't do those things. And that comes with grief. And then when you get to watch them decline day after day. So I've watched my dad decline little by little over time. and you realize it's a big difference. Oh, I saw my father walking from here to that far last year, and now this is how much he's able to walk without tiring out and wanting to sit down like right now. So you see these changes and they weigh you down because this is somebody you love. This is somebody you knew when they were fully functional, living their life, and you can see the difference. It comes with extreme grief. And so it's important to be aware of the grief process that is involved in dealing with somebody that has dementia. Um, Being aware of it, acknowledging it, helps you, number one, self-care. You need to you need to be very intentional about caring for yourself because when you are dealing with grief, it's an emotional baggage that you carry. It's a mental baggage that you carry. And not to mention the physical, because when somebody has dementia, they have their own threads. And like you do with a child, where your loved one is not at all a child and they are not being childish, but they have the same needs as a child. So you adapt to them because they are not able to adapt to you. You have to adapt to them. When they wake up at the middle of the night, you wake up and take care of their needs because they need you. You can't train them. Hey, it's night. You need to be sleeping. You can't train them. And the difference between a child and a loved one who has dementia is obvious. A child is growing, a child is learning, and they are learning to cope with life better. But when your loved one has dementia, they are going through loss. They are losing information every day. And so every day they are becoming more dependent on you as a caregiver. So you are carrying grief for all the changes that you are observing with your loved one that you are helpless to help. Um, but it's more work for you as a caregiver. You are doing more on a regular basis as they decline. Remember, you are having all the medical appointments that you bring your loved one. You are calling for the medication refills. You are cooking meals. And sometimes you might try to feed your loved one and they are not ready to eat right now. You can't force them, but you know they haven't eaten. So it's weighing you down and you wait and then you reapproach and serve the food again. All this is work on a caregiver who is caring for a loved one. So understand that your life is carrying a lot. You have physically a lot that you are dealing with, but then you are carrying the emotional sadness of watching this decline happen on a daily basis. But then you are also carrying the grief of, wow, my loved one is ended towards death, which is a big loss. But many families, I have heard them say, you are waiting for the second death. You are waiting for the second death of your loved one. Because the first death happened when your loved one started to change significantly. Their personality has changed. They don't talk the same way they talked before. And then over time, they don't even know familiar faces. They start to forget family members. They forget the names. And then by and by, they can't walk anymore. Now they are on a wheelchair. You go through another grief. Wow, your loved one is now on a wheelchair. And then it goes on, and now they are almost bedridden. It goes on. I've watched many people with dementia, and it goes on to where basically your loved one, you help them up, you feed them, and you put them back to bed. And that's great loss that you are dealing with on a daily basis, which causes a lot of sadness for caregivers. So it's important to be aware that this is not a light thing, and to just be very intentional about about getting your needs met. There's the normal grief that happens when somebody dies, and people can go through a normal grief. Realize that when someone is caring for someone with terminal illness, their grief can actually end up becoming complicated grief, because you are taking care of this person every day. And when this person dies, who is your loved one, is somebody you love, you care for them, understand as a caregiver, you're also getting something out of it. When somebody is depending on you, there's a sense of purpose that comes with it, that brings some sort of fulfillment. So even if it's hard to care for your loved one when they are dealing with these conditions, there's a satisfaction that comes with, I'm caring for somebody. Somebody needs me. Humanly, that brings fulfillment into our hearts. There's also, you feel loved. When as I care for my father on a daily basis, I can see the love from him. He loves me, he adores me. And I remember when he was raising me and how he loved me. And I see him love me, you know, in the same way, but from a different perspective. Now my dad is depending on me, but yet I can see how much he loves me. And who doesn't want to be loved? We all want to be loved. We thrive in loving situations. So there is a benefit to being a caregiver. There's benefits. The love of my father encourages me to care for him. It encourages me to be a better person. And guess what? When death happens for a loved one, you lose somebody that you know how much they loved you. You lose that purpose that you had. So it's extensive loss. Your life changes, and now you have to go through an adjustment. So it's all the preparing yourself for all these things is something that a caregiver need to be very intentional about. Because if you are not intentional about it, it's very easy to lose yourself and not even understand why. So, as a caregiver, understand your grief is not normal grief. You carry anticipatory grief until your loved one dies. God blessing you that your loved one dies before you, because we also know many caregivers who end up dying before the person they are caring for. I saw it happen with my parents. My mother, even though she had congestive heart failure, she really was my dad's major support. And she cared so much for my father that she overextended herself. So be aware, self care, be very intentional about self care. Um, you can have experience a lot of waves of emotions waves of emotions whereby you are feeling emotions one day. You might even, there are often times there's humor that comes with dementia. Sometimes me, my family, we laugh about things because they are laughable. And that's nothing to feel guilty about. Um, with dementia, just like your child does things that make you laugh sometimes, your loved one, and even with each other, we do things that make us laugh and laugh at each other and laugh with each other. The same is with dementia. It's okay to laugh sometimes. Now, you don't laugh in a way that makes your loved one feel like you're laughing at them, but it's okay to find humor in things. So you have waves of emotions. There's times for laughter, but there will be times where you are so grieved, you want to cry, and even sometimes you cry. That's normal. Give yourself space to experience your emotions as they come. There's the ambiguous grief where you keep on, you can't pinpoint what you are even feeling. You just know what you're feeling is not right, but you can't even pinpoint it. Again, be aware you are carrying a lot, and just allowing yourself space to feel and to grieve is good for you. Coping, self-care, allow yourself to get sleep, allow yourself to get help. Let other people help you. Let somebody else step in for you if you can do that, and take a break, whether it's respite care, whether it's daycare programs, whether it's a personal care assistant, whatever help you can get, whether it's other family members stepping in so that you can take a break. You need to do these things, because when you are constantly caring for somebody that you love that has dementia, you are carrying emotions all the time. So the ability to step away and completely think about something different completely is very helpful for you, so that when you come back, you are refreshed. Your body, your brain, your emotions have taken a break, and you are refreshed. You need to practice that, and you need to be intentional about that. There's support groups where you can go and talk with other people that are going through what you are going through. Finding support groups with caregivers, where caregivers go and talk with other caregivers about their experiences, about what helps, what's helping you, and also just a place to vent, a place to talk about what you are carrying, what you are dealing with, where other people can support you. It's very helpful. Communication, open talking with friends, family members. One of the things that has really helped our family is just opening that avenue of communication, saying it's okay to completely be honest with how you feel. When my father started living with us, it was very hard for everybody, because we were all getting to know my dad. Even I, you assume that you know somebody because they are your dad or because they are your child. But actually, relationships are intentionally developed. You can live with somebody even under the same roof and lose sight of who they are. You don't even know who they are, and you are living under the same roof. Relationships take intention and work. So, growing relationships, turn off gadgets. Those telephones that people are always looking at, they are really bad for relationships, even within families, even with your children. You can lose your children completely because everybody is on gadgets. Nobody talks any constructive conversation to each other. It's just hi, hi, bye, good day, and you realize it's all you say to each other. You don't know what your loved ones in your house, how their day was, what was difficult, what they have had to deal with. Create those spaces for conversations with your families, and you build a stronger family bond with your children, with your loved ones. So then, when you are caring for your loved one with dementia, it's the same thing. So, what I was saying is, when my dad moved uh, with us, it was difficult for everybody. I was getting to get shocked at the changes that are taking place with my dad. I thought I knew my dad, and it was very shocking to see how much he has changed. And so I'm learning him. My children, they were really struggling. They when we've traveled to Kenya, my mom and my dad, they had caregivers, they had house help. So, you kind of interact with your dad, you have conversations like, hi, what are you doing? And you don't get to realize how different he is because you are not directly involved with his needs. They have caregivers and help that are, you know, attentive to their needs in a way that you don't get to realize until you are actually the one that is involved. So that's what happened to me and to my family. So we had to start learning. And you're asking these questions being asked over and over. My dad is asking the same questions over and over. And my children were like, what is this we are dealing with? And a lot of other things that we've had to deal with. And here I was, the bumper between my dad and my children, trying to bring them together and say, you guys, this is what's going on with my dad. And me, I'm learning and I'm helping them. And thank God my husband is a hospice chaplain. He's a clinical chaplain. So he gets some of these things. But again, this is now somebody we are living with every day, day in, day out, sunrise, sunset. And it was a big adjustment for our entire family. What helped is open conversations. It's me actually starting because my children, they were afraid to say what they were feeling because this is my dad. So are they going to offend me? So I had to be the first one to start saying, oh, guys, this is so frustrating. I'm feeling really frustrated about this. Oh, guys, I'm feeling really tired about this. And the more I started probing, some of these things I was saying so that to give them permission to say how they were feeling. And the more I started giving them permission to be open about their feelings, then they were being more open about their feelings. And then we were learning together. Okay, this is how you respond to this. This is how you do this. And that really helped our adjustment. And I saw it turn around my children. And now, over time, they got to really love their grandpa and be very attentive to him. But that took work and intention. And because of allowing that transition, the adjustment, the open conversations, now we are able to help each other. So, communication, allowing open communication, not shaming how people feel. Um, there's gonna be waves of emotions. There's no need to feel ashamed about how you feel. There are times as a caregiver, you're going to feel angry, you're going to feel irritated, upset. There's nothing shameful about that. So, finding space to talk about it, building in kindness, you realize there are times you're gonna have to acknowledge, I need more kindness, and to realize that it's going to take kindness. For example, when you serve food and your loved one refuses to eat right now, and then in an hour they are hungry, they want food. It might feel upsetting because you have so many other things you are dealing with, and now you have to go and reserve that food, and you might reserve it 3 4 times before it's eaten. So you start to realize, I need to be kind. I need kindness to operate in me, because your loved one is not trying to do these things to you. They are where they are and they can't help it. They are not trying to do anything to hurt you. It's just where they are in life. So you start to go, wow, this is what kindness is. This is when kindness kicks in. Mercy. So you are dealing with a lot. And so, I encourage you to be aware of that. And on top of all these things, then you realize, oh my goodness, if things continue the way they are continuing, I'm going to lose my loved one forever. And so that anticipatory grief, you are dealing with it. I saw this when my mom was going through the dying process in 2023. It was really difficult for me. And I grieved a lot. There are times I could just sit, and honestly, I would start wailing. I would just start crying and wailing, like literally wailing, because the grief was so deep. And it's important to allow yourself to grieve in the way that you need to grieve to get it out. Shoveling it down is not healthy, because it's gonna stay there and it's gonna come out in other ways. So be aware when you're dealing with your loved one who has dementia, you are constantly carrying grief of the changes you are seeing, but you are also carrying grief, anticipatory grief, because you know what is coming. So be aware of that and be intentional about self care. Get help from others, take breaks, talk a lot, find a way, friends, family that you can honestly talk with about your feelings, the changes, your sadness, find humor in the care sometimes. Go with the flow. It's gonna be all over the map. Learn to go with the flow. Don't expect of yourself something that you can't deliver to yourself. Go with the flow. Otherwise, let's continue to learn together as we go through this journey of caring for our loved ones who have dementia. Again, please share this video to loved ones, or to people that you know are caring for loved ones with dementia, with terminal illness. Let's continue to grow in this difficult journey. It's a difficult journey, but going through it with others, it does help. Have a very blessed rest of your day.